Hey friends, I know it's been a while since y'all have heard from me, since y'all seen me. Um, a lot's been going on these last 2 months. And as I sit here with my sewing projects in front of me because I have an event on the 4th of July, I wanted to give a quick update. Hope I can get through this. As to what's been happening with me in the last, I'm going to say 2 months. Um, May was a whirlwind month. I got laid off on May 1st. So that happened, you know, regrouping, searching for employment, but working my business as well. Um, that month happened, and then June happened. June started off kind of busy. I was planning, trying to get my sewing meetup. So my storage ran out. So June happened. It started off me looking for venues for my sewing meetup that I wanted to do, kind of like around June 27th or something like that, right? So I went to a couple of places. Long story short, June started off kind of busy, normal. And then on June the 6th, I recall I had my list of things I was going to do. I was getting ready to sit down at my sewing machine. I had just put my phone on silent and I was sitting down at my sewing machine and I saw a call come across my phone and it was from my sister's best friend. Now, it's not unusual for me to talk to her, but I had an uneasy feeling. So, anyway, got a call from her telling me that my sister had just said she was on the phone with my sister, and my sister said that my nephew Sean had been shot. I'm like, I was dressed and everything because I was going to go to the store, but it was raining. So I was waiting. I was going to sew some stuff until the weather cleared, and then I was going to go to the store. So I I immediately I can't remember where I left off, y'all. So my friend's sister called and she told me that my sister had just told her that my nephew Sean had been shot. I was so calm. I think back on that moment and I'm like, whoa, I couldn't believe how calm I was because my thought process at the time was I got to get to my sister, like see what's going on because I'm not sure what's going on, what's happening. So she told me she didn't have any details. That's all she knew. So I asked her, where was my sister? She says she was at home because she was on the phone with her. So I'm getting ready to jump into my car and go straight to my sister's house. So I called my nephew's really, really good friend. She lives in the same town as me. She, of course, I'm asking, has she heard anything? Of course, nobody heard anything. My sister had literally, I found out later, had literally just got this information. So anyway, I'm telling her that I'm en route to my sister, and she said, I'm behind you because I was going to wait for her, but she was like, no, don't wait for me. I'm not dressed. Boom. So I left. So while I'm en route to my sister's house, she calls me and well, before I even left my house, I called my nephew, my other nephew. Um, and I could tell in his voice, he was, it's his brother. So um, he had to hang up and then I don't even remember. It's kind of blurry. But anyway, so long story short, I'm on the way to my sister's house. She calls me and she tells me that she's going to my nephew's job. My nephew was at work. That was shot. He was at work. My nephew's name is Sean. Um, so I'll say Sean from here on out. So he was at work and he Um, that's, you know, so my sister was like, she's on her way there. And I'm thinking in my head, why are we going to the job? Where is he? That's what I was thinking. So then my sister calls me back. I'm just following instructions. My sister calls me back and she tells me he's en route to the hospital. So I get the hospital address, I look it up, and then I make a U turn, and then I'm on my way to the hospital. So, um, what a harrowing day it was. I was the first person to make it to the hospital. Um, they were like on some kind of weird lockdown when I got there. It was odd. The whole situation was odd. They couldn't tell me if my nephew was there or not. It was just, whew, it was a lot. So I'm pacing and I'm, you know, and y'all don't know me, but I like when it comes to my family, like I'm a different person. So especially my nephews and I, my nephew Sean was 39. I'm 49. So I'm not that much older than them. And it is crazy because we, you know, we grew up together basically. So it's like, I don't play about them. They're like, I say they're like the kids I never had, because I changed their diapers when they were little. Yes, me being, you know, 10 years older than my nephew or less than 10 years older than my nephew, I still changed his diapers because that's just, I'm Gen X. That's just how things were back then. But anyway, so I am sitting here talking to you guys, and I have not spoken about this. Um, this is the entire June has been crazy. Needless to say, my nephew did not survive his injury. Um, it's a whole story within itself, y'all. It's a whole story within itself, like everything that happened after that and everything. So, my nephew Sean had an older brother who's like less than a year older than him. They were like, you know, real close in age. And he too died by gun violence at the age of 18. Um, and still mourning that and then have this happen, like I can't even imagine what my sister is going through. And I've been with her this whole time. She was at my house, and everything. Like it's been like it's like I'm walking, I'm outside of my body experiencing this is what it feels like. Um, the fact that I can even sit upright and talk about this right now, I'm very, very proud of myself because this has been an experience. Something I would not wish on anyone. Well, you're probably wondering what happened to the persons in this case that took my nephew's life. Well, they were on the run for a few days, like almost like a week, almost a week. And then they were caught. And when they were caught, the guy who actually pulled the trigger, this was my nephew's coworker, my nephew Sean's coworker. This happened at work. There was they had words, an altercation or something, and the guy called his girlfriend or whoever she was. You may have seen it on the news. He called his girlfriend, and she brought the weapon to the job, and she was there with him the whole time when he did it. My nephew was on the phone with his girlfriend when it happened. She was actually on her way to pick him up from work because the shift had ended, and she was on her way en route to pick him up, and she told him, you know, just to walk away, you know. But my nephew, I know my nephew, he's like, you know, I can't say what he probably was thinking because he's kind of like me in his thought process, like, you know. But anyway, so the girl brought the weapon to the job, and the guy used it to end my nephew's life. Now, what happened to him and her? A week later, when they were apprehended, because there was a search for them, when the police were approaching to apprehend them, the guy that took my nephew's life took his own life then. And then the girl surrendered herself, and now she's sitting in jail. Um, this has been such, I've been struggling a lot. I haven't, the whole month of June was, it was a blur. Um, my nephew, um, June 6th is when he left, when he was taken. We had his funeral on the 27th, which that's a big day. And that's a big day in Houston, June 27th. So I told my sister initially, I was like, he would get a kick out of his funeral being on June 27th. So that's what we ended up doing, having his funeral on June 27th. So anyway, um, like from the 6th to the 27th, y'all, I don't really remember like the days ran by so fast because I'm thinking, okay, I got 3 weeks for us to try to, it seems so far away, y'all. It went by so fast. I don't even want to talk about the day of the funeral because I know I was a zombie on Saturday. This was this past Saturday. And I'm surprised I'm even able to talk about this, but I think it's a little therapeutic for me to talk about it. But one thing about my nephew is I know that he would want me to get back to business. Um, that's how he was. He had even called me recently and we were talking about this. He sent me this, well, I think my sister sent it. It was a t-shirt design or something that he wanted. He had all these ideas. He's written a couple of books and things like that. And I had the design and I was asking him like, hey, what do you want me to do? And he was just telling me he wanted to put it on this shirt. It's like a black and white striped shirt, kind of jersey style almost. I don't know, baseball like shirt. And so he was asking me to take the design and, because he knew what I did. And I know that he would want me to get back to business and get my shmoney, okay? But I struggled the whole month, even now getting started because I have an event that's coming up Saturday. I'm struggling to do what I need to do for that. I mean, I'm behind. I had to revise my plan on what I'm going to take to the event. I already have some inventory, but I wanted to do some other stuff, but I had to revise it because I have not been able to get up. Today is like really, yesterday actually was the first day that I actually was able to get up and come into my craft studio and work. I like my being unemployed is like on the back burner right now because this happened like a month later while I was still, processing that. This happened. This is so much more than being unemployed. Like I can find a job, but my nephew's gone. I'll never see him again on this side, and it's tough. So I'm trying to get back to work, to busy myself, um, to do what I know I need to do because life does go on. I'm struggling to see what it's going to look like Now, my nephew has a 23-year-old son, and he has a 19-month-old grandson who will never know his grandfather. So it's going to be very tough. And I don't know if, you know, how my sister is going to get through this with losing her second child. My sister had 3 sons, and now she only has 1 son left. And then my nephew that's here, that's left, he came into this world with 2 brothers, 2 older brothers. And now he doesn't have any. It's 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 going to be tough for us. But I know that we'll get through it because we have each other. But it's not going to be the same. It was not the same when my first nephew, Mark, was taken. And it's not going to be the same now that my nephew, Sean, was taken. Um, these were the first kids that I changed diapers on, like being so young that I did it. I don't know how they trusted me to do that, but they did. The first children besides my little brothers that I babysat, you know, these were the first kids that I, you know, I lived in the house with my nephews um, for some years when I was in high school. Um, and it was always Mark, Sean, Bobby, my nephews. And now all we have left is Bobby. And it's like my brain can't process that yet. I don't know if I'll ever be able to process it. It's just hard. Um, but I'm trying to get myself back to work and make myself move forward with what I know I need to do, because I know that I have to move on, but I'm not forcing myself. I'm feeling what I need to feel when I need to feel it. Um, but yeah, so that's what's been happening in my life. And that's why I've kind of been missing. It was first the thing with the unemployment. You know, I was going to make a video about it and talk about it, and then this happened. So I just wanted to put this out here so I can move on to back to posting, you know, work videos, projects and sewing and things like that. I just wanted to check in with you guys and let you know what was happening with me. Why you haven't seen me active on any of my social media. This is what has been happening. It's taken me some time to, even today, I was like, am I going to sit down and talk about it today? And then I said, you know what? I put on my shirt I made with my nephew on it. And I said, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to record this video today, and I'm going to get it over with so that I can move on. Not move on, but you know, just like talk talk it out. Um, but yeah, that's what's been happening with me and my family. And I don't know if you guys pray, but I ask that you guys, if you do, to keep us in your prayers, because this is a very, very, very hard time for myself and my family. And man, just, you know, the first few weeks, first, like maybe first 2 weeks, when I would wake up in the morning, I would be like, okay, Is it today? Did I just wake up from the dream? Am I finding out I was sick and I was having these fever dreams or something, and everything that happened was a dream and a nightmare, and it's over. It wasn't real, and then I have to live it all over again. You know, figure out it was real. It was definite. It definitely happened, and that was really hard. It's still not easy, especially at night. Um, and I think that's probably why I've been staying up so late to try to do stuff to make myself busy, because by the time I get in bed, I just crash usually. I might be I'm on the phone with my friend Bridget sometimes, and that kind of keeps my mind off of what's happened. But usually, like I'll end up crashing, and I don't have to think too much about it. So, but yeah, but thank you guys for listening, and you'll start seeing me. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to start getting myself back into my routine and posting and showing up for my business. I still, still been running my Etsy shop. My orders haven't been going out as fast as I normally would get them out. Like I normally, if an order comes in today, I try to have it out today, but I've been lagging a little bit. Like nothing's been late, but I got to get back into my business routine and stuff. So, but yeah, but thank you guys for listening. Um, I appreciate you all. Um, so yeah, just look forward to seeing me back posting in the next couple of days, or maybe the next day. I don't know, because I'm being busy trying to get, like, I got to get to the sewing machine now. I got all these book sleeves I need to sew. So yeah, I wanted to drop in before I got busy on the sewing machine. So thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you soon.